Muy buenas, bienvenidos. Otra vez seguimos de Outer Worlds, segunda parte. Nos habíamos quedado aquí en Frontmar. ¿Y qué hemos dicho que haríamos? Saquearíamos todo lo que podamos, vamos a saquearlo. Vamos a hablar con todo el mundo. Y vamos a saquear a todo el mundo siempre que no nos vean. Cuida de los suyos. Pues han muerto. A ver qué le pasa a la pescadera esta.
I appreciate the company and all, but you really ought to leave. You don't want to be seen around me.
¿Por qué?
Because I'm sick. You don't want to associate with people in the sick house. We're not worth your time. I'm in about as much trouble as I can be. No reason you ought to be tarnished by association. People are gonna talk. I don't know which company you work for, but if it's Spacer's choice, boss can still write you up for fraternizing with an incompetent worker. Maybe you don't know this, but there's a real simple reason you don't talk to the plagued. You don't want what we've got.
A ver, vamos a ver. Que yo llevo 70 y pico años por ahí congelado. Y es la primera mujer que veo con un gorro sexy. Y he venido a hablarte, nada más.
Don't. Please. I could get into a lot of trouble. People trouble. Lazy worker like me getting special treatment from some out-of-town physiker like
Pues
you.
cierra la puerta que no nos
People will
vean.
talk. Company always tells us weak spirits lead to weak bodies. If I didn't want to fall sick with plague, maybe I should have worked harder. Maybe I should have taken more pride in my work. You've got Adrena time? How? No, I don't want to know. Could be you stole it. Could be you're trying to test me.
Rosemary.
See if I'm gonna violate company policy. I'm feeling a touch faint. If you don't mind, I'd like to be alone for a spell.
You don't want me breathing on you. Boss won't let us have any Adrena time.
Ahora no nos ve nadie. Rosemary.
I've never seen an outfit like yours before. You're not from around here, are you?
Bueno, he perdido la opción de hablar. Hasta el centinela ha muerto. Manda cojones, tío. No me tosáis encima, ¿eh? A ver.
Carry on.
Vale, pues continúo. Todo lo saqueado, ¿verdad? Bueno, que tengáis buenos días. Yo me voy de aquí. Una peluquería, una barbería, vamos. Aquí siempre hay cositas.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling.
Pues
with
puede
germs.
ser, tío, raro, puede ser.
Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene.
No me jodas.
Cleanliness is next to lawfulness. So everyone says, until someone forgets to cough into their elbow, and then we're all dying of plague. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards.
Venga, va, hombre, va. ¿En
You
serio?
will also report to me in the event of your death. whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for
Ah,
interment. A ship? Dear me. You seem to have lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy. This is what happens when you let your imagination run wild.
me
I
estás
don't
empezando a caer
approve
como
of
el culo,
fantasies.
Conrad.
It's a dreadful habit, corrosive to the mental faculties. You ought to let the vicar take a look inside your head. Vicar Maximilian, our man from the OSI, here to spread the message of science. You'll find him in our local church.
Vale, en la iglesia vamos a ir.
He doesn't seem to like us much. The vicar has not been with us long, and in his relatively short tenure in Edgewater,
Vale. Tengo preguntitas para ti.
go ahead.
A ver.
The plague's come at us with a vengeance this year.
Oh,
Lost
6
I
trabajadores
wouldn't
en
call
6
them
meses.
good workers, mind you. If they were any good, they'd have been treated. Company policy, friend. We don't have enough medicine to treat.
Hostia.
We're as sensible. Edgewater has been good to me. I consider myself privileged. I
bien.
am never wanting for work. Not since the...
Desde que apareció la peste. Ojo, ojo.
As the good vicar says, work fortifies the spirit of a man.
Creo que hay una conspiración aquí. A ver. No entres, ¿eh? Ulo. ¿Habéis visto lo que yo he visto? Es que hay que ir tan rápido. Conrad pinta todo muy mal aquí, ¿eh? Yo me voy, tío. Que tenga buenos días. He robado un fusil. A ver. Esto es muy grande, ¿eh?
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry.
Pero vamos para la cantina. Hombre. Y cerramos. Lo que pasa aquí dentro se va a quedar aquí dentro, ¿vale? A ver. Nada, nada. 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 Este quiere hablar. Uy, qué
Never
feo.
seen you here before. You a visitor? Welcome. On behalf of the Spacer's Choice family, let me welcome you to where am I again?
En el bar.
Oh, I ask myself questions all the time. For example, why do we spend money on these fancy latrines when we have a perfectly good wall outside?
Claro, claro.
Oh, it's fine. I'm only on my third bottle. I don't start heaving up my guts as long as I can count to 3. Company
Esto.
lets me imbibe as much zero-G brew as I can afford. Even gave me a discount on account of my injury. You jealous yet?
Este tío sabe. Mientras pueda contar hasta 3 no he hecho la papa. Y lleva 3 botellas. O sea que el tío va bien. Una lógica irrefutable.
Yep. Got my mid stuck in a rotor wheel. Shredded my wrist up real good. Conrad went and sewed up my hand, but I couldn't do much about the pain.
Ojo,
Boss was
que el
real
peluquero
generous to
cose
me,
manos
though.
también, ¿eh?
Got myself a 5% discount on zero-G brew. After the second bottle, the only pain I feel is emotional.
Ah,
Hey, Conrad's a surgeon. Well, he's a barber. That's like surgery, but for your hair.
madre mía.
That's some slick rags you... Numb to the bone thanks to zero-G brew. Zero-G...
Cuídate, hombre, cuídate. Te la robo, ¿eh? Que te la robo.
You read the
I don't
latest
have time
report?
for this.
Only the part that said we ain't making our quotas.
Gotta keep our heads up.
If only
Bueno,
McDevitt's folk
vamos a
hadn't
hablar.
abandoned
I don't know you.
Amelia Kim.
Uh-huh. The Unreliable, you say? Never heard of any company supply ship with that particular name. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here. You really think so? That's kind of you. I've been trying to keep the floors clean. You got no idea how long it takes to scrub the tiles.
Te entiendo, te entiendo.
Guess I misreckoned you. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be curt.
¿Cómo has tenido
You just got
problemas?
some
Una chica tan
problems
guapa como
lately.
tú, problemas.
I can get you a drink if you'd like. Gotta ask you to enjoy your beverage within the premises, though. Can't risk you bringing a drink over to those deserters. You
Oh, no.
understand.
Desertore.
Traitors. The lot of them. Bunch of folks decided they were tired of working and went out into the wilds
Uy.
to fend for their own selves. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway,
Ya
enough
sabemos
about them.
los
What can I do for you?
moradores o moderadores quiénes son.
Coming right up.
A ver. Vale. Uy, 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 uy. A ver. Más uno. 30 segundos, ¿vale? Está bien tener chutes, pero no. A ver. Vender, quiero vender. Oh. No. Una pala me la quedo, ¿vale? ¿Esto qué es? Celda de energía, no menos. El gorro me lo creo que el gorro me lo voy a poner. Eso me lo quedo porque me puede... No sé para qué sirve. No sé, por lo demás me lo quedo. ¿Tú me puedes reparar eso? No, ya está. Ahí, para no liarla. Toma. Ay, qué sombrero más guapo tengo. Bueno, un placer hacer negocios contigo. Vale, yo me vengo para aquí. Bufo y su saqueo. No tengo habilidad para eso. Uy, no habrán cámaras, ¿no? Aquí, mientras nadie te vea, tú saquea. ¿Ves? No hay nadie. me lo llevo. Si no hay nadie, me lo llevo. Uy, que no había mirado. Madre mía, qué ladronzuelo soy, ¿eh? Yo en estos juegos... Si lo veo, me lo llevo. Uy. Cerramos puerta. Vale. Y me dejo caer por aquí. Vale, hemos hecho la cantina. Tenemos que irnos a Canary o a Osi. Pero algo me dice que hay que ir por aquí.
I've got some time.
Ah,
Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
perfecto. Necesito trabajo, Esther. Pero bueno, te dejo lo tuyo, ¿vale? No sea acaso... Es que por ahí se nos va más. Vale. Pues... mínimo aquí. A ver qué encontramos. Una puerta roja. La puerta roja es sinónimo de... Ya me sabéis. A la saltuna tengo que ir. Pues no quiero ir a la saltuna. Que seguro que se me lía. Uy. ¿Y aquí? No informes de mí. No informes.
Sorry, I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out of your pay.
Ease off the threats, friend. I'm going.
Bueno. ¿Cómo van aquí, ¿Y esto? La iglesia.
Work fortifies the spirit. Hmm?
Hey there, Mary. Don't see you round
Vale.
here too often.
Vamos para aquí porque el otro sitio tiene pinta de...
Talking to the good vicar always lifts up my spirits.
Tío, qué guapo, un cráneo. Vicario Max. Este seguro que irá mal.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The
Sí.
quickest way out of town?
Necesito un neutralizador de flujo. Vale.
Mechanical tomfoolery is well out of my purview. I suggest you take such matters to Mr. Thompson in the cannery. Oh, and a word of warning. If you're considering wandering around outside the safety of the town, you'd best be cautious. Marauders are about. Though if you are planning on venturing outside,
Ahí es donde
I do have a
queríamos
proposition that
llegar.
may interest you. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts.
Textos prohibidos.
I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale.
No es problema eso para
However,
mí.
The collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Quiero 1000 chapas.
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information.
Venga, va.
On the contrary, my position means that I am one of the few legally allowed to possess such items. But do... I can assure you, you won't find another willing to risk imprisonment to possess this book. Glad we see eye to eye. It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on the map. Assuming you're...
Así me gusta.
It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the... Not many in this colony could understand its... Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Uy. Perdón.
Any progress on that? Please. A religious text deemed heretical by the OSI is an unsafe... Because I'm also a collector of books. Rare things in this cop.
Vale.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but your choice...
Ah, vale.
Also, you lack the distinctive worker gaze. Usually either a deadening behind... Oh, nothing could be further. I'm simply bemoaning the level of... Yes, but there are few... I must double my efforts to elevate my flock. Yes, and thank you for pointing it out. It is wrong of me to succumb. They who are not satisfied with their work are satisfied with nothing. No? How about, The OSI teaches that the The Order of Scientific... You don't talk to the Grand Architect. Once the We will eventually decode the future. Some...
Aquí viene un rollo ahora.
Well, seriously.
Me voy porque ya me está pegando la chapa. Ya me quería convertir a lo que fuera que es él. Tienda. Genera la historia. Me he ido muy rápido.
It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's choice. And before you ask, I'm all out of
Vale.
You ought to go have a talk with the boss, Reed Thompson. Go right ahead. What, you mean Edgewater? That's a peculiar question. It's, fine and dandy. Couldn't be happier. When... You are condescending to me, and I do not care for it. I don't get paid for banter. Go right ahead. Other than yourself? Definitely the vicar. Don't get me wrong. He seems... But there's something about him that bothers me. Like he's not one of us. Sometimes... Plague? I don't know anything about a plague. You have got the wrong idea. Some of us who get sick are liable to exaggerate the conditions of that sickness, but... Survival of the fittest. It ain't just the law of nature. It's company policy. Medical treatment is commensurate with our value to society. Spacer's choice will dispense medicine. Then the hand of medical science will not grace you with its... Listen, you mind if we talk about something else? Rambling about... Music to my ear.
A ver. Un martillo de impacto. Eso tengo uno que lo he robado. Una ametralladora ligera. Me mola, pero no. Un revólver me molaría. Daño 41, 22, hombre. Escopeta recortada. Y ya tengo una escopeta. ¡Buah! Esta. Cuchilla triple. Interesante. Ya, pero yo quiero armaduras. ¡Holo! A ver, el casco. Yo tengo 99 bits. No, 100 bits tengo. Este casco de nivel 1. Armadura 9. Armadura 4. Armadura 4. No tengo dinero. Armadura 7. Que sepas que tienes una tienda muy bonita. Que si te pudieras ponerte de espaldas, yo te cogería cosas. Pero bueno, no me dejan. A ver, aquí he pasado yo, ¿vale? He ido para el Canberry. Hemos ido para la iglesia. Me quedé. Tengo que ir allí. Vale, no te preocupes. No quiero que te echen la bronca por hablar con alguien que no sea de la corporación. A ver, tendría que entrar aquí, creo. Sí, pero... Uy. Haremos por la puerta principal. A ver. Vale, pues está todo mirado. Solo me hace falta entrar aquí. Vale. Antes de ir donde tenemos... Aquí sí que se lía una gorda, por aquí. Vale. Uy. Aquí salen muchas cosas. Y está más caro todo. Modificaciones. Oh. $1000, tío. Madre mía. Madre mía, os voy a saquear todo yo. Madre mía. Madre mía. Un lanzagranadas, tío. Para usar arma pesada no tengo munición. Bueno, no pasa nada, oye. A mí nadie me ha visto hacer nada, ¿no? Pues ya está. Ahora entendéis por qué antes de ir a la misión hay que ir a saquear, ¿verdad? Siempre que no te vean, hay que cerrar las puertas, siempre. Nadie mira. Si nadie mira, me lo llevo. Lo que no me he fijado si habían cámaras. Pero bueno. Un depósito para explotar. Yo quería eso. Me han dejado hecho polvo. Pues vámonos. No puedo robarles eso de el flujo de corrientes ese. Eso ya lo hemos hecho antes. Uy. Que hay mucha gente, ¿eh? No robar. ¡Calla, hombre! ¡Parta! Me ven.
Huh?
Vamos a vender. A ver. Muy pocos créditos, ¿eh? Hay un ascensor. Vale. Había una escalera, ¿no? Por aquí, que iba arriba.
You're safer inside the walls.
Que esto se vende, coño. Aquí titulando las ratitas. Los de puta. Madre mía, nos estamos 58, 36. Mira, esto va aquí.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy. Foreman Granger, mind those words don't come out of your mouth unless preceded by yes or right away or thank you.
Gilipollas. Es lo que le faltaba decirle eso. Actividades criminales. ¿Tú has visto algo?
Make me report you to Mr. Tops.
O a lo mejor deberías informar. Hombre, todo el mundo. No me obligues a informar al señor Thompson. Señor Thompson por aquí, señor Thompson por allá. Muy arriesgado. A ver aquí. A ver. ¡Temazo!
Miss Holcomb, I need you to explain this big lesson. The grease monkey, Argo. I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Con ratas, que lo he visto. ¿Y tú qué miras?
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in
Claro que no.
uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without
Y
frying
eso es muy
yourself in the
interesante,
process.
sin achicharrarme.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's
Hostia.
mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered.
Pues sí, se está echando a
Go down
perder.
to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you'll
Vale.
have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Ah. Vale, aquí habrá otra facción. O moredores, o como se llamen, ¿no?
The people living in the botanical labs. They're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I
Vale.
need them to come
Desertores.
home.
Hombre.
Good law, no, I don't want you killing anyone, least of all them.
Ah, vale, perdona.
My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. That reason was me. I asked too much and pushed too hard. But I am ready to make amends if they are willing to return to the fold. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Bueno, y... tenemos nuestro primer acompañante. ¡Vamos! Vale, sus talentos potenciarán los tuyos, aumentan la velocidad de carga. Bien. Ole. Vale.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Pues... la verdad, te voy a dar la razón.
Got my sights on you.
Vámonos, Parvarati. A ver.
Sure. Okay, moving out.
Hola, buenos días, Parvarati. Te quedan muy bien estas gafas. Y la pequita ahí también. Y aquí, mira. Como yo, el que está detrás de la pantalla, pero en el otro lado de la mejilla.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk?
Ven
All right,
aquí.
I'm on the move.
Coño.
In a jiff. Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along
A ver,
with me.
vamos a hablarlo.
It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Esto es peligroso hablarlo aquí, ¿eh?
Oh, he ain't a liar. He believes every word he
bueno.
says. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
Vale.
Life's hard here, especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders.
Calla, 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 que nos están
I think we
escuchando.
should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is. Books are for rich folk. I wonder what he wants with something like that. Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it.
Claro que sí,
That's
siempre.
what my dad used to say anyways.
Eso es una cosa muy importante de ley de vida. Antes de tomar una decisión de que alguien más se le perjudicado, escucha todas las partes. Uy, 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 uy. Muchas misiones abiertas. Laboratorio botánico, vicario.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Any progress on that matter we discussed? Ah, Miss Holcomb. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
This here's Vicar DeSoto. He's always offering spiritual counsel to those that need it.
Thank you for the kind assessment, Miss Holcomb. I admit, I've been quite interested to make our outsider's acquaintance. Please get it. What would you like to discuss?
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice? Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. They who are not satisfied with... Have you? These people...
Barbarati, yo no lo veo claro, pero vámonos. Espera, que me he liado. Madre mía, el cuello. Creo que nos hemos equivocado de sitio, que por aquí... No, vamos. ¡Ahí va! Puntos disponibles. Talentos. Quiero inteligencia. Es importante llegar a 20. Ah, no tengo. Pues esto es lo que hay. Pues no puede ser, tío. A ver, Parvarati. Bot del sombrero. Defensivo. Vale. A ver, ¿este quién es? ¡Uy! Coño. ¿Tú has visto esto, Parvarati? Ha desaparecido delante de nuestras narices. Es un fantasma. ¡Ah, míralo!
Thank the law. I've been requisitioning backup for months.
Pues va a ser que no,
You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff. The war, the coming apocalypse. I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold. That's right. That's what I've been saying. We got a square.
Pues sí.
Auto
Está visto
creatures
Terminator,
forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant, clattering up. When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? I've been gathering up a war chest over the years. Saw tuna cans mostly, some Spacer's chaw, few bit cards. Enlistment fees. Yeah, I suppose.
Claro,
Wouldn't
tío.
want to do the resist- They have sent a scout, prowling around the junkyard. The scout must not be permitted to return to its base of operations. Cross it off. Mechanicals got a weak spot in their midsections. I think the technical term is...
Vale, lo azul.
Go on. I'm Ludwig Miller, associates of... Unofficially, strictly between you and me. Go on. You ever seen the way a mechanical just stands there? Just looking at you. Mechanicals have been programmed to...
Eso es verdad.
will rob us of our jobs.
Hay que eliminar a los mecanoides. Madre mía, ¿dónde va con eso?
You're some sort of freelancer.
Soy un pobre. Madre mía, qué caros vais, qué careros. Cuidado que no caemos. Y si no caemos, la liamos. A ver. Que me marcaba que era por aquí la salida. Y efectivamente, por aquí es una salida, pues no la que necesitamos nosotros. Nosotros necesitamos la salida por donde hemos entrado.
Another day at the cannery.
Vale, ahora sí. Me voy a ir por el Valle Esmeralda, ¿no? ¿Me habían dicho? Vale. Pues, gente, yo creo que... A ver. Habrá otra salida. ¿Y el mapa? Hay que salir por esta. Ven, que me he equivocado. Claro, aquí... Es que no mira los controles. La M de mapa. Y... Ay, la J no. La J era para hacer waypoint en el Minecraft. Hay que ir por aquí, sí. Por esta. Uy.
A friend of mine died a couple weeks back. Still ain't past it.
Muy bien. Es que hay que ir por esa. Hay que salir por esa. Creo yo, vaya. A ver qué pasa. Ah, ahí. Pues gente, Estamos... en posibles problemas si quiero guardar. Vamos a dejarlo aquí. Vale, lo dejamos aquí y nos vemos en el próximo vídeo.